Later today, Marvel Snap's latest card release, Dazzler, will be landing in client. Today's video is going to walk you through cards that synergize well with Dazzler in deck building, and then close out on some deck ideas that I'm looking forward to trying once Dazzler gets added to my collection. Dazzler, for those not familiar, 4 energy, 4 base power, with the ongoing effect gets plus 6 power if you have 4 cards at every location. 10 stats is definitely above rate for a 4-drop. Something like Jessica Jones sees a lot of play, only providing 8 power for 4 resources. That being said, Dazzler's a lot harder to enabler than something like Jessica Jones as well. Not only are we going to have to be conscious in our deck building choices when it comes to being able to fill all 3 of our paths, but it's also going to be on our opponent a little bit as to whether or not they want to interact with what we are doing to fill things up. Cards like Killmonger and Shang-Chi could definitely be turning off all of that hard work we've done to enable Dazzler. There are a number of cards in Marvel Snap that work well for enabling Dazzler. Let's go ahead and run through them here, starting with Squirrel Girl. Simple effect, puts out 3 1 energy, 1 power bodies across the board, helping you start getting things full for Dazzler. Mysterio is another excellent card for playing things out into all 3 paths with a singular card. Debris not only fills up our board, but also clutters our opponent as well, being a 3rd card that adds 3 bodies to the board. And then Ultron is the final Series 3 card that definitely works well with Dazzler. This is as many as 9 bodies into play off of just a single card. That should fill things up nicely, turning Dazzler into a 10 power card. As we turn our eyes towards Series 5 cards that could help enable Dazzler, we have our release from last week, Shauna here, who adds 4 bodies herself plus 3 1-drops to the board, filling things up nicely for Dazzler, as well as Thanos, who, while is a 6-drop himself, puts 6 1-cost Infinity Stones into our deck, most of which draw an extra card, meaning they're going to allow us to flood the board nice and full for Dazzler to have potentially great effect. I think Patriot Ultron is probably the established archetype in Marvel Snap that is most likely to see a gain from this card. Ultron does an excellent job at filling in the board on the final turn, and one thing that's nice about Ultron is that if you manage to keep priority so you're going second going into that final turn, your opponent won't even be able to clear the board out to turn off your Dazzler bonus, because Ultron's going to fill most of those slots right back up when it reveals. Patriot works well with Ultron and the variety of other things in our deck, such as Mysterio and Squirrel Girl, that also serve to enable Dazzler while not having any abilities. Dazzler could also be an excellent upgrade to the Dazzler Swarm deck. One of the ways that this archetype struggles on occasion is being able to go tall in a particular path that you need to win, and Dazzler providing 10 points worth of stats while also rewarding us for the thing we want to be doing anyways, filling the board, is quite nice. We have armor as well as Cosmo here to offer us counterplay into things like Shang-Chi as well as Killmonger, and then we have basically all of the cards I highlighted on in the synergy section here: Squirrel Girl, Debris, Shauna, Mysterio. Fantastic ways to get the board nice and full, while also noting that Marie Hill is yet another card that can provide 2 bodies in 2 different locations to work well with Dazzler, as well as our things that power up our board like Blue Marvel. This deck list has some parallels to the one we looked at previous, as it is also a Khazar deck, but instead of trying to leverage something like Shauna, we're playing Thanos with his Infinity Stones that also synergize nicely with Lockjaw, since Lockjaw lets us tuck those stones into our deck and potentially fish out something much larger like Dazzler or one of our other potent ongoing effects. Again, we are playing Armor and Cosmo. I think these cards in some combination are pretty reasonable in most Dazzler decks, since they are generically good cards that also offer counterplay to things that are going to break up Dazzler's ongoing bonus. Finally, what do Dazzler, Shauna, and Khazar all have in common? Well, they cost 4 energy naturally, making them an excellent package to slot on into a potential Zabu shell. This deck is again looking to go wide with a range of things such as Debris and Shauna, and we can even leverage Absorbing Man here as a way to double up these effects. We also have Absorbing Man to pair with Spider-Man for a little bit of lockout potential when that is an ideal thing to be doing in your game as well. What cards and deck ideas do you think are going to be great with Dazzler if she finds her way into your collection? I would love to know in the comments down below. I have 6,000 collector's tokens ready and waiting for Dazzler when she pops up into my shop, so hopefully she does that sometime soon, and we'll have a highlight here on the channel showcasing the best early deck that I've found with her. As always, if you enjoy my ramblings, snap that like button to help this video reach more people. And if you happen to be new here, consider subscribing to the channel. I post Marvel Snap tidbits like this, as well as deck highlights and other updates here 7 days a week. I'd love to see you back again. Happy snapping, folks, and hopefully see you back again tomorrow.